Hi everyone and welcome back to our channel. Today we'll discover Pont-l'Évêque cheese. So Pont-l'Évêque is a cheese made from raw, thermized or pasteurized cow's milk with a soft space, a bloomy rind that is brushed or washed. It is made in Normandy, in the northern part of France. Its name comes from the town of Pont-l'Évêque, located between Lisieux and Deauville in the heart of the Auge region. So as regards its history, it was in the 12th century that the Pont-l'Évêque was created by Cistercian monks who settled to the west of the city of Caen. This cheese was known as Angelo, was used as a mean of exchange, remuneration and tax. It would be noted that the name Angelo will also this time designate other Normandy cheeses, which in the 15th century will become the most famous cheeses of the kingdom. It was named after Augelot, from the name of the Pays d'Auge, where it comes from. The Augelot was very famous in the 16th century in Paris, but it was only in the 17th century that it took its final name, Pont-l'Évêque, inspired by the small Normandy village, when some of the most important markets took place in the region and this cheese obviously was sold. At this time it was found in different shapes and forms inspired by the ceramic container used for its molding. In the 18th century, the reputation of Pont-l'Évêque went beyond French borders. It became square to stand out from the Béraud, another famous cheese from Normandy. In the following century, the Pont-l'Évêque fermier, or farmer, was made twice a day in variable manufacturing processes. We then found cheeses of variable quality and with different fat content. The best quality cheese were the one made from the whole milk, sometimes enriched with cream, called crème fleurette, which can be translated into whipped cream, and which formed spontaneously on the surface of the milk when it was left to stand. The second quality is made from a mixture of skim milk from the day before and whole milk from the morning milking. Finally, other cheeses of lesser quality were made with skim milk from the day before, which was less rich and more acidic. All these cheeses were mainly sold on the markets of Pont-l'Évêque and Beaumont in Auge region. The development of railway lines accelerated its marketing and enabled the cheese makers to supply the Halles de Paris and provincial towns more easily and quickly. Only the best quality Pont-l'Évêque with crème fleurette were sold, which gave Pont-l'Évêque an excellent reputation at a time when fat was expensive and precious. In the 20th century, milk collection was modernized and processing methods improved while respecting traditions. Thus, large cheese groups flourished and Pont-l'Évêque secured this position as the cheese of choice. It became AOC, Appellation d'origine contrôlée, since 1972, and AOP, at the European level, Appellation d'origine protégée, protected appellation of origin, since 1996. So how is it made? There was a reform in 2017, which indicates that 50% of the milk used to make Pont-l'Évêque must come from Normandy cows. The storage from the time of the oldest milking cannot exceed 48 hours at the farm and 96 hours until the start of the maturation. And this duration, of course, is reduced to 72 hours in the case of raw milk products. It takes 3.5 liters of milk to make a Pont-l'Évêque of 350 grams. Milk maturation takes less than 26 hours at a temperature below 40 degrees Celsius. The only manufacturing ingredients or additives permitted are René, harmless cultures of bacteria, yeast, molds, salt and calcium chloride. The milk is reneted in basins at a temperature between 32 to 40 degrees Celsius and give the cuts, which will be cut in less than 2.5 centimeters in size and then stirred, or we call it brassé. Before molding, le petit lait, the excess liquid, is partially removed. The cheese is molded less than 2 hours after the renetting and it is drained into the molds for at least 10 hours at a temperature between 17 to 31 degrees Celsius. It is turned several times and salted 1 to 4 days after the renetting. After the salting, the cheese is dried again before the start of ripening. So the ripening before packaging takes place at a temperature between 11 to 19 degrees Celsius. During this period, the cheese can be brushed, washed with the solutions composed of water, salt and surface ferments, once or several times. The minimum ripening period before packaging is 8 to 9 days depending on the size of the cheese. After packaging, additional ripening is carried out at a temperature between 4 degrees Celsius to 15 degrees Celsius for a minimum of 18 to 21 days, depending also on the size. So, let's try our Pont-l'Évêque. So you can see there is streaks on both sides, which is due to the molding. The color of the rind is orangey, yellowish, with some white velvet. Okay. As you cut it, inside it is quite homogeneous paste, yellowish and whitish in color with some holes, and non-sticky, actually. As regards smells, it is very pronounced. We can smell the animal, a bit of pungent smell. This one in particular has reached actually the peak of maturation. But let's see on the palate. So the taste on the palate is not as pronounced as the smell. It is a little bit pungent, but not as we could think, with some nice fresh cream flavors, a little bit of nuttiness that finishes with a bit of smokiness and bitterness due to the rind that is quite sticky on the palate. It is very nice. So Pont-l'Évêque exists into 4 sizes, which are the Grand Pont-l'Évêque, which is the biggest, with a size that is from 19 to 21 centimeters and weigh between 1.2 to 1.6 kilograms. The minimum ripening is of 21 days. Then there's a Pont-l'Évêque, which is from 10 centimeters to 11 centimeters, and a minimum ripening of 18 days. There is the Petit Pont-l'Évêque, which is this one, 9 centimeters or 10 centimeters square, from 180 to 250 grams, and le Demi Pont-l'Évêque, so half a Pont-l'Évêque, which weigh between 150 to 200 grams, and the same ripening, 18 days. So as regards the wine pairing, it's a great cheese when young to enjoy with fruity and generous white wine with a little bit of acidity. I'm thinking of a nice appellation from Burgundy, such as a Meursault, white Meursault. But as it ages and as the taste become a bit more pungent and the texture a bit more creamy, we will definitely recommend to enjoy it with a strong red wine, from Bordeaux for example, a Fronsac red. But it's also a cheese that can be enjoyed with this famous brandy from the same region, from Normandy, which is Calvados, the apple brandy Calvados. So Pont-l'Évêque cheese can be also enjoyed while cooking. There's some nice recipes, and I like to enjoy it as a tart with Calvados. So basically you just take one of your Pont-l'Évêque, a shortcut pastry dough or a pie pastry dough, 4 eggs, 250 grams of thick cream, and 2 tablespoons of Calvados. So you will whisk the eggs, the cream and the Calvados together. You will season it with salt and pepper. Spread the dough in a tart mold, prick it with a fork of course and butter it. Put some sliced cheese on it and put your mixtures of eggs, Calvados and cream on top of it, and you will bake it in the oven for 30 minutes approximately at 210 degrees Celsius or till the top is golden. It is wonderful to enjoy and definitely great with a nice glass of red or white wine. So thank you for watching this video about Pont-l'Évêque. We hope you liked it, and see you next time for another cheese video. Say cheese! Thank you for watching this episode, and don't forget to subscribe, like and share.